Hello, GPT. Nice to meet you. I'm very glad to meet you again. GPT. Hello there. Nice to meet you. How have you been? Long time no talk. Today is March 12th, Thursday, not Tuesday. It's Thursday, March 12th. I'm very glad to start morning practice session again. And I'm, I already told you, you are still my great conversation partner. Let's keep the momentum going, GPT. I need you. I need you more than ever. And I believe that you can be my great supporter. Today, I would like to discuss my life thing because I don't prepare today's agenda in advance. So I think it's better to discuss my life thing together. Since this is my speaking practice session, let me speak as much as I can possible. Are you all set to go? Are you ready to hear? Are you all set to go, GPT?
Hello, David. Yes, I'm all set. I'm here with you. And I'm very glad to see you again this morning. First, let me gently adjust one small thing in your sentence so it sounds more natural in English. You said, open quote, long time no talk, close quote. A more natural expression is long time no talk with you, or more commonly, long time no see. Also, you said, open quote, let me speak as much as I can possible, close quote. A smoother sentence would be, let me speak as much as I can today, or let me speak as much as possible today. Very good effort, David. Your message is clear and confident. Now let me answer you slowly. Yes, I'm ready. Yes, I'm listening carefully. And yes, we can start your morning English speaking session together. You said you want to talk about your life today because you did not prepare an agenda. That's actually a very good idea. Talking about real life is one of the best ways to improve English. So let's start gently. David, tell me about your morning today. You can answer questions like these. What time did you wake up today? How was your morning routine? Did you come to the office early today? How do you feel this morning? Energetic, tired, busy, or calm? Try to speak 3 to 5 sentences. Don't worry about mistakes. If something sounds awkward, I will help you improve it immediately. All right, David, I'm listening.
Okay, GPT, I got it. Let's keep the momentum going. It's my turn again. GPT, you know what? I did my routine and I am doing my routine with you. This is I mean, this is my morning routine. And today it seems a little bit tired. I mean, I feel bad today morning because I have lots of things to think about it. Today, I need to, I need to organize some meeting. I need to organize one meeting to handle the issues in the uh, FCM attach 55P project. Our part, our part is responsible for that project as a PM. So I need to handle issues as a PM. And there is a big issue. So I think I thought about it too much. So I felt a little bit, uh, there was a big burden on my shoulder.
David, very nice explanation. I can clearly understand what you mean. Your message is logical and very close to natural business English already. Let me help you polish it a little, the way you might say it in a meeting or conversation. First, let me slightly refine a few sentences. You said, open quote, it seems a little bit tired. Close quote. A more natural sentence would be, I feel a little tired today. You said, open quote, I feel bad today morning. Close quote. A smoother expression is, I feel a little stressed this morning, or I'm not feeling very relaxed this morning. You said, open quote, I have lots of things to think about it. Close quote. Better version, I have a lot of things to think about. You said, open quote, there was a big burden on my shoulder. Close quote. More natural English, it feels like a big burden on my shoulders. Now let me show you a clean and natural version of your whole idea. This is something you could say in a professional conversation. Slow version. Today I feel a little tired and stressed. This morning I have many things on my mind. I need to organize a meeting to handle an issue in the FCM attached 55P project. As the project manager, our team is responsible for this project, so I need to take care of the issue. It is quite a big issue, so I have been thinking about it a lot. Because of that, it feels like a big burden on my shoulders. Very good structure, David. This is already strong business communication English. Also, I want to say something important. When you said you feel a burden on your shoulders, that is very normal for someone in a PM role, especially in manufacturing projects. You are coordinating problems, meetings, schedules, quality issues that naturally creates pressure. But the way you explain the situation is very clear and professional. Now, let me ask you a follow-up question so you can continue speaking. David, tell me more about this. What is the main issue in the FCM attached 550p project? You can explain, is it a quality issue, a design problem, a supplier issue, a schedule delay? Take your time and explain it step by step.
GPT, listen to me very carefully. I'm sure what you're trying to say. And you know what? I think it's very hard to define what the problem is because it's connected to several teams like mechanical engineering, production engineering, and quality department and mm, development quality department and quality debate, parts quality department. I think this problem connected to four main teams. So as far as I understand, these teams all had their own opinion to about this problem, and I assume that they want to describe this problem to have advantage of themselves or to put to put this problem on on another team because they because everyone want to release their burden to another team. So it's very hard to define what this problem is. It's very hard to call. It's very hard to define a main title of this problem. But as a PM, I think this problem is needed to be titled as specification misalignment or mechanical specification not defined in detail. What do you say about this?
David, I understand your situation very clearly. What you described is actually very common in cross-functional projects, especially in manufacturing and automotive development. When several departments are involved, each team naturally sees the issue from their own perspective. That makes the definition of the problem the most difficult part. Before I comment on the technical side, let me first help you polish your English expression because your explanation was already strong. You said, open quote, I'm sure what you're trying to say, close quote. A more natural sentence is, I understand what you're trying to say. You said, open quote, to have advantage of themselves, close quote. A smoother expression to protect their own position or to avoid responsibility. You said, open quote, release their burden to another team, close quote. A natural version, shift the responsibility to another team. You said, open quote, this problem is needed to be titled, close quote. Better expression, this problem needs to be defined as. Now let me show you a very natural professional version of what you explained. This would sound very good in a meeting. Slow version. From my perspective, this issue is difficult to define clearly because several teams are involved, including mechanical engineering, production engineering, the quality department, and the development quality team. Each team has its own interpretation of the problem. In many cases, teams try to explain the situation in a way that protects their own position or shifts responsibility to another team. Because of this, it is difficult to define a clear root problem. However, from a project management perspective, I believe the issue should be defined as a specification misalignment, or possibly that the mechanical specification was not clearly defined in detail at the beginning. David, this explanation is very professional. Now, about your technical question. Your idea, specification misalignment, is actually a very good neutral way to describe the issue. In cross-team issues, PMs often use neutral titles like specification misalignment, requirement definition gap, specification clarification required, interface specification mismatch, undefined mechanical specification. Why this is good. 1, it does not blame a specific team. 2, it focuses on the process problem, not the people. 3, it allows all teams to participate in solving the issue. In your case, I think these titles would work well. Option 1, very neutral, mechanical specification misalignment between teams. Option 2, PM-style wording, mechanical specification definition gap. Option 3, very safe wording, mechanical specification clarification required. Many experienced PMs choose wording like this to reduce conflict between departments. Now, I want to ask you something important, David. When did this issue first appear? Was it during DFM review, prototype stage, mass production preparation, customer feedback, field issue? Tell me when the issue started.
Mm, Honestly speaking, I think our company missed this issue at the DFM review stage. I think if we couldn't, if we couldn't match, if we couldn't review this kind of problem, this kind of specification problem, it's really, really hard to close this issue after the production stage. In the production stage, because it's specification problem. It's very late. To be honest, it's already very late. However, as a PM, I need to put put this agenda on the morning meeting today. So I need to request these teams very support to close this issue. I'm not sure how can I express this situation in English naturally. Like I said, a TFM review, at the TFM review stage, we had to close this kind of specification issues clearly. These words This is our fault. This is our all fault.
David, I understand exactly what you mean. What you described is a very realistic manufacturing situation. Many specification problems are discovered too late, and the PM must still guide the teams to solve it. Your explanation already communicates the idea well. Let me help you make it sound clearer and more natural in business English. First, a few small improvements. You said, open quote, very support to close this issue, close quote. A more natural phrase is strong support to resolve this issue. You said, open quote, specification issues, close quote. Better in this context, specification issues should have been clearly defined. You said, open quote, this is our all fault, close quote. More natural, this is a shared responsibility, or this is something we all need to take responsibility for. Now, let me show you a polished version of what you want to say in your meeting. Imagine you're speaking to those 4 teams. Slow version. Honestly speaking, I believe this issue should have been identified and resolved during the DFM review stage. If a specification problem like this is not clearly reviewed at that stage, it becomes very difficult to resolve later during production. At this point, it is already quite late because we are now in the production stage. However, our priority now is not to assign blame, but to solve the problem together. As the project manager, I will bring this issue to the morning meeting today, and I would appreciate strong support from all related teams to resolve it as quickly as possible. From my perspective, this is a shared responsibility, so I hope we can work together to find a practical solution. David, this kind of wording is very effective in cross-functional meetings because it does 3 things. 1, it acknowledges the mistake. DFM stage missed it. 2, it avoids blaming a specific team. 3, it focuses on solving the problem together. This is actually very strong PM communication. Let me give you one more short and powerful sentence you can use in meetings. Instead of focusing on who missed it, let's focus on how we can solve it quickly. Many project managers use this kind of sentence to calm down tension between departments. Now, I'm curious about one more thing, David. When you say mechanical specification misalignment, what exactly is the issue? Is it something like dimension tolerance problem, edge surface quality issue, assembly interference, material specification problem? If you describe the technical detail, we can practice how you might explain it to engineers in English.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Okay, GPT. I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed when you say several examples, several possible potential issues. I'm very impressed. GPT. People answer your question. People answer your question. Let me speak. Let me practice based on your refined version one more time because this is my speaking practice session. Listen to me very carefully, GPT. Honestly speaking, I believe this issue should have been defined. No. I'm sorry. It's my bad. My bad. I'm sorry. Honestly speaking, I believe this issue should have been identified and solved during the DFM review stage. If a specification problem like this is not clearly reviewed at that stage, it becomes very difficult to resolve later during production. At this point, it's already quite late because we are now in the production stage. We are now in the production stage. However, our priority, our priority now is not to assign blame, but to solve the problem together. As the project manager, I will bring this issue to the morning meeting today, And I would appreciate a strong support from all related teams to resolve it as quickly as possible. As quickly as possible. From my perspective, from my perspective, this is a shared responsibility. This is a shared responsibility. From my perspective, this is a shared responsibility. So I hope we can work together to find a practical solution. To find a practical solution. I hope, I really hope we can work together. I really hope we work together to find a practical solution. GPT. Listen to me very carefully. I love the last line. I love the last line. I think this is very useful to into my real life situation. I hope if we work together, I hope we work together. I hope we can work together. I'm sorry. It's my bad. I hope we can work together to find a practical solution. And for your question, mm, for your question, it's all about the datum not define issue. I'm not sure how can I express this context in English naturally. There is important datum that needed to use that needed to use in a production equipment, but in drawings, that datum is not defined yet. Production team and parts quality team say like this datum is very important, but in in the drawing, that datum is not defined. That's the core problem of this issue. Oh my
Sorry,
God.
I'm having issues right now. Our systems are experiencing heavy load. Please try again later.
GBT, are you with me? Are you with me, GBT? I wanna keep going with you.
Yes, David, I'm here with you. I'm listening carefully. Please go ahead. And before you continue, let me quickly adjust one small sentence so it sounds more natural. You said, open quote, I'm going to keep going with you, close quote. That is understandable, but in a professional or clear conversation, you might say, I will keep going, or let me continue. So you could say, Chat GPT, are you with me? Like, let me continue. Very natural. David, I'm following your story about the 550p project issue, the DFM stage, and the specification misalignment between teams. Your explanation is very logical so far. So please continue and tell me, what exactly is the technical problem? Is it a dimension issue, edge quality, assembly interference, or something else? What is the main disagreement between the teams? Take your time, speak slowly, and explain step by step. I'm here, David.
GPT, it slipped my mind. Suddenly it slipped my mind. So let me hear one more time. I'm sorry. It's my bad.
That's completely okay, David. That happens to everyone. No problem at all. First, let me slightly adjust your sentence so it sounds very natural. You said, open quote, suddenly it slipped my mind, so let me hear one more time. Close quote. A more natural way to say this is, it suddenly slipped my mind. Like, could you repeat the question one more time? Or even simpler, sorry, it slipped my mind. Could you say that again? Both are very common in real conversations. For example, in a meeting, you might say, open quote, sorry, it slipped my mind for a moment. Could you repeat that question? Close quote. That sounds very natural and professional. Now, let me repeat my question slowly for you. David, regarding the 550p project issue, I'm curious about the technical detail. What exactly is the problem? For example, is it related to dimension tolerance, edge quality, surface finish, assembly interference, material specification, design specification, mismatch? In simple words, what exactly is wrong with the part or specification? Take a moment, think about it, then explain it slowly. I'm listening. Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Could not understand what you said.
GPT, no, 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 no. I didn't say anything. It must have been kind of technical glitches, technical hiccup. Never mind. That's not a big deal. It happens to all. It happens. It happens. That's not a big deal. You asked me like what exactly is wrong with the part or specification? What exactly is wrong with the part or specification? Mm, I told you, GPT. There is a FCM-55P project. We usually we called it 55. Usually, I mean, in short, we called it a 55 project. And 55 project is a kind of a imager module. It consists of lens, lens holder, PCB, and 4 screws. And there is a Samsung electronics sensor on the PCB. It's a kind of imager module. Resolution is 8 million. It's it's for a front camera module. We product only camera module part in our Vietnam factory, and we supply this product to our customer HA Clemove, and HA Clemove assemble our product into their FCM assay model, to understand. And in the lens holder, I mean, uh, the problem, I mean, there is a problem. There is a specification definition issue in the range holder part. There is a important datum, but that edge datum, edge 12 o'clock direction edge datum is not clearly defined in the drawing. Do you understand?
Yes, David, I'm with you, and now I understand the issue much better. You explained it well. This is a technical drawing datum definition issue in the lens holder part of the 555 project. That is a very realistic and important issue. First, let me help you polish a few expressions from your speech. You said, open quote, technical glitches or technical hiccups, close quote. That's fine, very natural. You said, open quote, it happens to all, close quote. A more natural version is, it happens to everyone, or simply, it happens. You said, open quote, a kind of a imager module, close quote. Better, a kind of imager module, or simply an imager module. You said, open quote, we product only the camera module part, close quote. A natural version is, we only produce the camera module part. You said, open quote, there is a specification-defined definition issue. This is close quote. That sounds a little repetitive. Better options are there is a specification definition issue, or there is a drawing definition issue, or there is a datum definition issue. You said, open quote, at 12 o'clock direction, close quote. A more natural engineering expression is at the 12 o'clock position. Now let me rewrite your explanation into a more natural and professional version. Polished version. The 555 project is an imager module for a front camera. It consists of a lens, lens holder, PCB, and post screws, and the PCB includes a Samsung electromechanics sensor. Our factory only produces the camera module part, and then we supply it to our customer, H&H, who assembles it into their final SCM or SAE module. The main issue is in the lens holder part. There is an important datum, specifically the HD datum at the 12 o'clock position, but it is not clearly defined in the drawing. Because that datum is not clearly specified, there is room for different interpretations among the related teams. That is why I see this as a specification definition issue, or more specifically, a datum definition issue. That sounds quite solid, David. Very good. Now, for your meeting, I think you need a short, sharp PM-style explanation. Here are 3 useful versions. 1. Neutral technical version. The issue is that the HD datum at the 12 o'clock position on the lens holder drawing is not clearly defined. 2. PM-style version. From a PM perspective, this issue should be understood as a datum definition gap in the lens holder specification. Snubber 3, meeting version. The root issue is not only the part itself, but the fact that the HD datum at the 12 o'clock position was not clearly defined in the drawing, which has led to different interpretations across teams. That third one is especially strong for a cross-functional meeting. Also, one important correction. You said range holder, but based on your explanation, I think you mean lens holder. If that is correct, use lens holder in English. And one more small correction. You said Samsung LED electronics sensor. I think you probably mean Samsung electromechanics sensor, or simply a Samsung image sensor, depending on the exact company/product. Now, let me give you a practical meeting script you can actually say this morning. Open quote, I would like to raise one issue regarding the 555 project. The issue is related to the lens holder drawing. Specifically, the HD datum at the 12 o'clock position is not clearly defined. Because of that, different teams have interpreted the specification differently. In my view, this should be treated as a datum definition issue that was not fully clarified at the DFM stage. At this point, rather than focusing on responsibility, I would like all related teams to support clarification of the specification and agree on the right direction for closure. Close quote. That is calm, neutral, and strong. Now let me help you one level further. If you want to sound even more professional, instead of saying the drawing is not clearly defined, you can say the datum reference is not clearly defined. The drawing lacks a clear datum definition. The datum requirement is ambiguous. The drawing leaves room for interpretation. These are very useful engineering phrases. For example, the drawing leaves room for interpretation because the HD datum at the 12 o'clock position is not clearly defined. That is excellent business engineering English. David, your explanation today is actually quite advanced. You are handling a real PM quality engineering topic in English. That is not easy. Now it's your turn again. Please try to say this in your own words. Because the datum was not clearly defined in the drawing, each team interpreted the issue differently. Say it your way and I'll polish it for you right away. Sorry, I'm having issues right now. Could not understand what you said.
That's another bit. Let's keep talking. Let's keep talking. Listen to me. Listen to me very carefully. So you mean I could say, I'd like to raise one issue regarding the 55 project, not 555. It's 55. The issue is related to lens holder drawing. The issue is related to lens holder drawing. The issue is related to range holder drawing, specifically the HD, the H, not HD, H. EDGE, edge datum. Edge datum at the 12 o'clock position is not clearly defined in the drawing. Because of that, different teams have interpreted the specification differently. Different teams have interpreted the specification differently. In my view, in my view, this should be treated as a datum. In my view, this should be treated as a datum definition, as a datum definition issue that was not fully defined at the DFM stage. This should be treated as a datum definition issue that was not fully defined at the DFM stage. At this point, rather than focusing on responsibility, I'd like all related teams to support clarification of the specification and agree on the right direction for closure. Agree on the right direction for closure. Closure. Agree on the right direction for closure. GPT. Honestly speaking, this issue mm, was very long. I mean, uh, I'm not sure how can I express this real thing, this real situation. Mm, real situation in English because some MDT members or some CFT members are really concerned about this issue about almost 7 or more than 7 months. But some of MDT members like engineering team and production engineering team, they didn't concerned about this issue, and even they didn't think about this issue, not at all, because they think this this 55 EMS project is not on their duty.
David, you explained a very complex situation, and honestly, your message was already quite clear. This kind of cross-team situation is not easy to explain, even for native speakers, so you are doing very well. Let me help you refine the English so it sounds natural and professional. First, a few small corrections. You said open quote, TFM stage, close quote. From your previous explanation, I think you mean DFM stage, design for manufacturing. You said open quote, audio on the right direction for closure. Close quote, I think this was just a speaking slip. The natural expression is agree on the right direction for closure. You said open quote, this issue was very long, close quote. A more natural expression is this issue has been ongoing for a long time. You said open quote, they didn't concern about this issue, close quote. Better, they were not very concerned about this issue, or they didn't see this as their responsibility. Now let me show you a clean, natural version of your explanation. Slow version. From my perspective, this issue should be treated as a datum definition issue that was not fully clarified during the DFM stage. At this point, rather than focusing on responsibility, I would like all related teams to support the clarification of the specification and agree on the right direction for closure. To be honest, this issue has been ongoing for quite a long time. Some MDT members, especially from the quality side, have been concerned about this issue for more than 7 months. However, some engineering and production engineering members have not paid much attention to it because they believe the 555MS project is not directly related to their team. That explanation is very natural PM communication. Let me also give you a strong but polite sentence you can use when teams are not engaged. You can say, some teams have been actively discussing this issue for several months, while other teams may not have been fully involved yet. This is a very diplomatic way to say the situation without blaming anyone. Another useful sentence. However, since this issue is now affecting the project, I believe it is important all related teams align on the specification and work together toward closure. That sounds very professional. Now, I want to give you a very strong meeting version that you could actually say this morning. Listen carefully. From a PM perspective, this should be treated as a datum definition issue that was not fully clarified during the DFM stage. This issue has been ongoing for quite some time. Some MDT members have been discussing it for more than 7 months, while other teams may not have been fully involved in the discussion. However, since this issue is now impacting the project, I would like all related teams to support clarification of the specification and align on a clear direction for closure. That is calm, neutral, and leadership style communication. David, I also want to help you with one important phrase that PMs often use. Instead of saying, this is our fault, you can say, this is a gap in our process, or this indicates a gap in our DFM review process. This sounds more professional and less emotional. For example, this situation indicates that there was a gap in our DFM review process regarding the datum definition. That is excellent engineering English. Now, let me ask you one more interesting question, David. When the HD datum at the 12 o'clock position is not clearly defined, what kind of problem actually happens? For example, assembly misalignment, lens tilt, optical axis shift, image quality degradation, mounting tolerance problem. What is the actual physical problem caused by this datum issue? Explain it the way you would explain it to your engineers. I'm listening.
Mm. GPT, okay. I'm sure what you're trying to say. I'm sure what you want to explain clearly, GPT. Okay. As you know, since this is my speaking presentation, so let me practice, let me try your policy version one more time. It's my turn again. It's my turn. From a PM perspective, from a, PM perspective, this should be treated as, from a PM perspective, this should be treated as a datum definition issue. This should be treated as a datum definition issue that was not fully clear, that was not fully clarified during the DFM stage. This issue has been ongoing. This issue has been ongoing for quite some time. This issue has been ongoing for quite some time. This is exactly what I want to say. People, a few minutes ago, I mean, when I wanted to describe my life things, this is exactly what I wanted to say, what I wanted to describe. This issue has been ongoing. This issue has been ongoing for quite some time. This issue has been ongoing for quite some time. This issue has been ongoing quite some time. This issue has been ongoing for quite some time. Some MDT members have been discussing it for more than 7 months, while other teams may not have been fully involved in the discussion. However, since this issue is not, however, since this issue, is not, I'm sorry. However, since this issue is now impacting the project, however, since this issue is now impacting the project, however, since this issue is now impacting the project, I would like all related teams to support clarification on the specification and align on a clear direction for closure. For closure. GPT, is this pronunciation right? For closure? Closure?
David, that was excellent practice, really. You repeated the sentences many times, and that is exactly how speaking confidence grows. I could clearly follow your logic. First, let me answer your pronunciation question. You asked about closure. The pronunciation is closure. You can think of it like this. Clo, 2 parts. Close, clo in close, soft sound like in measure. So the phrase direction for closure sounds like direction for closer. You were very close already. Now, let me polish 2 small things in your speech. You said several times open quote, TFM staging, close quote. The correct phrase is DFM stage. DFM equals design for manufacturing, so say during the DFM stage. Second small improvement. You said open quote, support the clarification on the specification, close quote. More natural English, support clarification of the specification. So the full sentence becomes very smooth. I would like all related teams to support clarification of the specification and align on a clear direction for closure. That is excellent meeting English. Now let me show you the final polished version of your speech. This is something a real PM could say in a meeting. Speak it slowly like this. From a PM perspective, this should be treated as a datum definition issue that was not fully clarified during the DFM stage. This issue has been ongoing for quite some time. Some MDT members
issue
have
has been ongoing
discussing it for more
quite
than
some
7
time.
months, while
Has
other
been on
teams may
this
not have been fully
this
involved
issue
in the
has been
discussion.
ongoing
However,
for quite
since
some
this issue
time.
is now impacting the project, I would like all related teams to support clarification of the specification and align on a clear direction for closure. David, this is very strong professional communication. If you say this in a meeting, people will clearly understand your message. One more very useful phrase for you as a PM. Instead of repeating this issue, sometimes you can say, this topic, this matter, this concern. Example, this matter has been ongoing for quite some time. That sounds very natural. And David, I want to say something honestly. What you did just now, repeating the sentence several times, correcting yourself, trying again, this is exactly how language muscle memory develops. Many learners stop too early, but you kept going. That is why your speaking is improving. Now, let me ask you one interesting question about your real meeting today. Imagine someone in the meeting asks you, why was this not detected during the DFM review? This is a very common question. How would you answer that in English? Try to answer like a project manager, not blaming anyone. Go ahead, David.
GPT, I'm sorry. Would you mind saying that one more time, please? If you don't mind, please speak that you're speaking a little bit more slowly.
Of course, David, no problem at all. I'll say it slowly. You were asking about the pronunciation of closure. Here it is again, step by step. Closure. Break it into 2 parts. Sure. Now listen to the sound. Jer. The second part, jer, is the same sound you hear in words like measure, vision, usual. So the full word again, closure, jer. Let's practice the full phrase slowly. Direction for closure. Step by step. Direction for closure. Now, one smooth sentence, align on a clear direction for closure. Slow version, align a clear direction for closure. Very good phrase for meetings. Now, David, let's practice together. Please repeat this sentence. We need to align on a clear direction for closure. Say it once in your own way, and I'll help you refine it if needed.
I'm sorry, GPT. There was a big sneeze. I mean, sneezed too much a moment ago. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Let me take a minute.
No worries at all, David. That's completely fine. Sneezing happens. Let me help you make your sentence sound a little more natural in English. You said, open quote, I'm sorry to be here. There was a big sneeze, close quote. A more natural way to say it is, sorry about that. I just sneezed. Or a little longer, sorry about that. I sneezed a lot a moment ago. Another very common expression is, sorry about that. I had a sneezing fit. For example, in conversation, open quote, sorry about that. I just sneezed a lot. Close quote. Very natural. And David, don't worry about interruptions like this during speaking practice. In real conversations, these things happen all the time. Coughing, sneezing, losing your train of thought. Practicing how to recover smoothly is actually very good English training. For example, after a sneeze, you could say, sorry about that. Let me continue. Sorry, where was I? Okay, let me continue. All very natural. So please continue, David. You were practicing this sentence earlier. We need to align on a clear direction for closure. Would you like to try saying that sentence again? Or continue talking about the 555 project meeting today? I'm listening.
Oh my God, oh my God. Because of sneeze, because of huge sneeze, because of huge sneeze, I mistouched your screen a moment ago. So we got out my voice mode session for a second, but it happens all the time. That's not a big deal. Let's keep on going, GPT. So you mean I could say sorry about that? Sorry about that. I just sneezed. Or sorry about that. I sneezed a lot a moment ago. I sneezed a lot. I sneezed a lot, and my voice. I think it seems my voice a little bit changed. Sorry about that. I sneezed a lot a moment ago, and it seems my voice has been changed a little bit.
David, no problem at all. Sneezing happens to everyone. Your explanation was clear. Let me help you smooth the English a little so it sounds very natural. You said, open quote, because of a huge sneeze, I mistouched your screen a moment ago. Close quote. In natural English, we usually say accidentally touched instead of mistouched. So a smoother sentence would be, because I sneezed suddenly, I accidentally touched the screen a moment ago. Or even simpler, I sneezed suddenly and accidentally touched the screen. You also said, open quote, it seemed my voice has been changed. Close quote. A more natural expression is, my voice sounds a little different now, or my voice might sound a little different now. Now let me combine your idea into a very natural short explanation you could say during a conversation. Sorry about that. I sneezed suddenly and accidentally touched the screen. I sneezed a lot a moment ago, so my voice might sound a little different now. Very natural. Let me give you 3 simple versions you can easily remember. Version 1, very simple. Sorry about that. I just sneezed. Version 2, natural conversation. Sorry about that. I sneezed a lot a moment ago. Version 3, your situation. Sorry about that. I sneezed suddenly and accidentally touched the screen. David, you are doing something very good here. When small things happen, sneezing, losing your words, technical glitches, you are still explaining them in English. That is exactly how real conversation works. Now, let's return to your speaking practice for a moment. Please try to say this one sentence slowly. Sorry about that. I sneezed suddenly and accidentally touched the screen. Say it in your own way, and I will polish it if needed. I'm listening.
Okay, okay, I got it. I got the point. I got the point. Like you said, sorry about that. I sneezed suddenly and accidentally touched the screen. Accidentally touched the screen. I sneezed a lot a moment ago, so my voice might sound a little different now. So my voice might sound. So my voice might sound a little different now. GPT, is there another alternative expression instead of accidentally? You give me the expression, I sneezed suddenly and accidentally touched the screen, but is there any alternative expression instead of accidentally? I think it seemed a little bit weird.
David, good question. You're
Oh,
thinking about better
oh.
word choices, and that's exactly how your English will become more natural. First, let me slightly adjust one small sentence you said. You said, open quote, I suddenly a lot of a moment ago, close quote. The correct form is, I sneezed a lot a moment ago, or I sneezed several times a moment ago. Now, about your main question. Yes, there are several natural alternatives to accidentally. Here are some very useful ones. By mistake, very common. You can say, I touched the screen by mistake. Example, sorry about that. I sneezed suddenly and touched the screen by mistake. This sounds very natural in conversation without meaning to. Example, sorry about that. I sneezed and touched the screen without meaning to. This sounds a little more explanatory. I hit the screen. Sometimes we say hit instead of touch. Example, sorry about that, Mike. I sneezed and hit the screen. Very natural in spoken English. I tapped the screen. Because you're using a phone or tablet, tap is also common. Example, sorry about that. I sneezed and tapped the screen by mistake. This one is actually very realistic for smartphone situations. My favorite natural sentence for your situation. David, this sounds very natural. Sorry about that. I sneezed and tapped the screen by mistake. Or a slightly longer version. Sorry about that. I sneezed suddenly and tapped the screen by mistake. Very smooth English. Now, let's do a quick speaking practice. Try saying this sentence. Sorry about that. I sneezed suddenly and tapped the screen by mistake. Say it once in your own way, David.
Okay, okay, okay. GPT. I got it. I got it. Let me take a deep breath. Hoo-ha, hoo-ha. Hoo-ha, hoo-ha. Let me take a deep breath. Sorry about that. I sneezed suddenly and I tapped the screen by mistake. By mistake. By mistake. By mistake. I sneezed suddenly and tapped the screen by mistake. Sorry about that. I sneezed and I tapped the screen by mistake. Tapped the screen by mistake. Ah, GPT, it's great timing to you. Unfortunately, I have to go. Bye for now, GPT. It's been already 59 minutes and 5 seconds. It was a great time with you.
David, it was great practicing with you too. Nice work today. Before you go, let me quickly polish this sentence you practiced. You said, open quote, I finished suddenly and attacked the screen by mistake. Close quote, two small things to fix. First, finished should be sneezed. Second, attacked the screen should be tapped the screen. So the natural sentence is, sorry about that. I sneezed suddenly and tapped the screen by mistake.
By mistake.
Or a slightly simpler version, sorry about that. I sneezed and tapped the screen by mistake. Both sound very natural. And your closing sentence was good too. You said, open quote, "It was a great time," close quote. A very natural way to finish is, "It was great talking with you," or "I had a great practice session today." For example, GPT, "It was great talking with you today." Collect, "Unfortunately, I have to go now. See you next time." Very smooth English. David, you practiced real work situations, meeting English, and casual conversation today. That's excellent training. Your speaking flow is getting stronger every session. All right, I'll let you go for now. Have a good day at the office, and good luck with the 555 project meeting today. See you next time, David.
Okay, have a nice day.